the sun is out. Look at those beautiful blueberries. They're just going. Fertilized that patch pretty hard and it seems like it's working pretty good. All right, so, oh man, the bugs are swarming. I can see them all around. But it is Monday morning, the beginning of week 5, day 29, and the beginning of episode 5. So welcome back, YouTubers. We have a lot going on this week. Today is Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day. And hopefully things are going to go well. If it's sunny today and sunny tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow morning the guy's going to come with the Dozer and start doing the driveway work. That's the plan, at least. It still has a lot of rain in the forecast for the next week. It's rained a lot. I'd say 24 days out of the last 29 days has been rain. A lot of it downpour. But that is spring in Maine, and the rain actually is kind of nice. You get cool temperatures, and the bugs aren't so crazy, so that's nice. The black flies don't come out when it's raining, so you can get some work done without having to deal with that. But hopefully this week's going to be exciting. Last week we got the greenhouse going and all the vegetables are going, and got lots of vegetables going. Got like, I don't know, a couple hundred different kinds of vegetables now going. Or, I mean, probably like 20 something different vegetables and over 150 seeds. So we should have plenty of stuff to plant. And I'm just going to have to start digging up garden spaces. And I'm thinking about just digging some trenches and planting right in the sod or in the grass that we have here. At least some things like squashes and maybe some corn and some stuff that I think will grow right out of this stuff. But we're just going to plant all kinds of stuff. So much stuff. More we plant, more we'll have. And if we can give it away, we'll give some away. Maybe we'll set up a little farm stand at the end of the driveway, start meeting the community and getting to know the people around here, and making a little money selling some of these vegetables. But we'll see what happens. We're just mostly hoping that this Dozer guy comes. We can get, some footage of him working up the road, and then some footage of the final product, and then we can call the cabin people and tell them it's all ready so they can bring that out. It's a pretty nice day out here, though. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to grab my fishing pole and maybe grab the shovel and go dig up some worms, see what I can find for worms. I usually use tackle, but I haven't had any luck down there with regular tackle, with like top water tackle or spinners or spoons or anything. I know that if there's fish in there, they will definitely bite on worm. So I'm going to go and look for some worms and grab my fishing pole and head down to the brook. Should be a lot of people down there since it's Memorial Day. Get some time interacting with the community and get some fishing in. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. Beginning of week 5, beginning of episode 5. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like, rate, and comment. And we'll see what we can get into this week. Haven't seen Mom in a little while. Hear that noise? That's an American woodcock pretending that it's hurt, because I almost just stepped on it. But look at that little guy. Can you even see him? It's a baby American woodcock. I've heard a lot of them out in the bush the last couple nights. They make a quack sound. Alright, I'm sitting a little distance in the woods. I just want to sit here for a little while and see if Mom goes back to that little baby woodcock. Man, I came so close, I was like literally about to step on her. And the baby just hid there, tried to be quiet. But I'm gonna stay back so the mom can come and get her. She hasn't made any noise yet. But once she starts chirping, I think Mom will come back to her. Well, they're still over there in the bush. They haven't moved or made any noise. I guess I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully Mom comes back to him. Hopefully I didn't scare her off. I think she's over in the bush right over there. She's waiting for me to leave, I guess. So I'll leave them alone. There's 2 of them over there. 2 baby woodcocks. They're so adorable. These things are all over the forest right now. There's one right there, one right there, and one right there. They are almost impossible to see. You could definitely step on one of these poor little birds. The mother like takes off and then pretends she's hurt, rolls around on the ground nearby. I think there's only 3 here. Man, lucky I didn't step on any of these little buggers. They're so cute though. The American woodcock. So, should be some good woodcock hunting out here next year. I usually don't hunt them because they're such small birds. But they're definitely procreating this spring. At least 3 here right now. There might be more. It's really hard to see them. It took me forever to even find these guys. Once she flew off, I tried not to move so I didn't step on any of them. Pretty cool though. A lot of wildlife out here in spring, including a lot of mosquitoes. I get this net back on. Winds are blowing. Well, made it back to camp. Never even made it to the fishing spot. The spot I wanted to go to, the water was so high I couldn't cross in a couple spots without some high boots or waders on. Or swimming. If I wore my high boots, I probably could have found a spot around though, but I have my nice leather boots on, so I didn't want to ruin them and get water over the top. Man, I saw a white owl flying by, which is pretty cool. It's huge. It's like the size of an eagle. It was really big, and it was pure white. And then we saw 2 different female woodcocks with little babies. 5 babies in all. 2 at one spot and then 3 at another. So that's pretty cool. There's be a lot of woodcock out here. I hear them all night and during the day, and right at dusk I hear them a lot, and I see them too. If I walk around the property, they come up to the highland here, and they make their noise and stuff. I think those are the male ones that do the quack, trying to attract other ones. But yeah, pretty cool. Saw a lot of animals, but I'm thinking about putting my boots on and trying to head to a different spot to try to do some fishing. Memorial Day, good day to do some fishing. Have enough firewood already at camp, and I need to get water for the greenhouse, but I have enough camp water for tonight. I don't know, we'll see. Go do some more fishing, just relax today pretty much. Day 29, it's crazy. Tomorrow will be day 30. 30 days in the canvas tent already. It went by pretty quick this year. And then the cabin will come. We're pretty much out here. I mean, we're going to be out here all year and maybe all winter even. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how much firewood I can get together and how hard the winter is on me up here, and if I can find any work at any point. Those are all the factors that are going to keep me up here. But if I'm up here by myself, by the time winter comes, I might want to go somewhere else. It might be time to go to California, or go visit some family in Florida, or go somewhere where it's warmer and there's some people. We'll see how I'm doing come fall. As we hunt here until the end of November. And then you can still hunt all kinds of other stuff, waterfowl and all kinds of other stuff even longer. But November is the end of deer season, which is the season I usually really hunt. I'll do some like duck hunting and stuff too, but I usually don't hunt bears. Bears are in August. They hunt bears. There's a bear baiting station right here on my property that used to belong to some guy, and he's not using it anymore, so I'm positive I could use it if I wanted to. But I don't know, I'm probably going to clean that up at some point because I don't think I want to bait the bears here on the property. I don't even really like hunting bear. Bear's supposed to be really good and pretty healthy meat, but I'm not really into hunting bears. I like hunting deer, grouse, and ducks. That's pretty much all. And geese. Those are all animals that are worth hunting to me. Alright, well, if I make it to a fishing spot, I'll bring you guys out, but I don't know. Water's just so high from all this rain this last week that a lot of the property is hard to get across because it's like waist deep instead of ankle deep. Alright, catch you guys later. Well, end of day 29. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty much just went down. Sun setting in the background, train going by in the background. Looking great. I don't know if you can see that, the sun just set. Idyllic. Trains rolling by in the background. End of day 29. Tomorrow's day 30. Had some cool walks in the woods today. Definitely saw a bunch of stuff. Pretty much covered this whole property. There's only one far corner I haven't covered. And the only way to get to that is either follow the brook all the way down, which is really rough going, or I can go out and find the wildlife management line, follow that, and then it will turn and then go all the way to the far corner. Following that, it's a red line that marks the wildlife management area. So, I don't know. Maybe try to conquer that tomorrow. Maybe the next day. We'll see how we're feeling, how the weather is. But tomorrow the Dozer guy is coming. So we're starting the excavation on the road. I'm super excited. I've been waiting so long. I'm glad it's going to be getting done. Hopefully by the end of the week we'll be able to call the cabin people and say, come on down, Drew Plantation. Ooh, good morning world. Good morning YouTube. The sun is out. That's what I'm looking for. Doesn't look like there's any clouds either. It says the clouds are going to move in at some point, but day 30 today. Super excited. 30 full days in the canvas tent. Whoop whoop. Took a little flower shower. Oh man, trusty sleds. These sleds are so handy. Use them to haul wood, haul mulch, haul hay, haul wood out of the wood, and also use it as a bath basin. So you don't have to stand right in the dirt when you're taking a shower, a flower shower. All right, I'm excited. Today's day 30 and it's Tuesday and it's May 28th, and it's also the day that the guy's coming with the dozer to get the road done. So in the next 3 or 4 days we should have the road done. Then I can call up the cabin people and tell them to bring the cabin down. So we're putting the cabin at the front of the road, right by the road. I'm sure I'm not gonna like that. I'll probably stay in the canvas tent half the time. But we'll see what happens. We're just putting it down there so I know I can get to it during the winter easily, get in and out, and just it's going to be a lot easier for the cabin people to drop it there. If I decide that I can finish the road and get more of the road done, I'll have one of my neighbors down the road with a skidder come up and drag the cabin out back here, because the land out back here gets better breeze, it has less bugs, and it's a lot further from the road. You know, people can't see you. You have a lot of privacy back here. So this is where I want the cabin eventually, but I don't want to be in a hurry to get it back here. You know, if I have the cabin back here and winter comes this year, I might not be able to get to it. And during the winter, I would at least like to park out in front of the cabin. You know, I don't want to leave my car sitting at the end of the road, because in the winter it's pretty dead up here. And I've been told there's a lot of junkies lurking in the woods out here that steal stuff during the winter. So I'll just be worrying about the car the whole time, the whole winter. So I might as well just have the cabin out on the front road and have easy access. Plus, if the cabin's down there, then the neighbors will stop by every once in a while and say hi, and I can interact with people and interact with the community a little bit more this first year. You know, after this first year, I'll know everybody and everybody will know me. Then they can just call me, I guess, if I'm back here. But this first summer I'll just spend down there, and the first winter I'll spend down there, and it will be easy access at least. You know, you pull right off the road and the cabin will be right there. So be a lot easier to deal with. And then if I have to get the driveway plowed too, I'll only have to get about 100 feet of it plowed, which will be a lot cheaper than getting about 300 feet of it plowed. All right, well, I'm gonna get everything organized and I'll bring you guys back out when the dozer pulls in. Well, still waiting for the dozer guy, but I got this big clear patch here. It's basically right next to the garden. But I think this flat spot right here is where we're gonna put the platform for the canvas tent. And we'll probably keep it set up here most of the time. And we might put a platform over in the other spot where it's sitting right now. But this one's a little further away from the line, away from the neighbor, and closer to the garden. So I think this will be a good spot for it. I'm gonna have to cut back about 8 feet of these trees, maybe 10 feet, so it's nice and flat. And we'll put the platform right there. But someone dropped a tree here at some point and didn't clean up after it. So I'm just going through and raking up all the dead branches that are intertwined in the grass. Loading them up in the wheelbarrow, and then we're gonna go put them at the bottom of the mulch pile that we're about to start. Put this, it's all rotted wood, and it's been rotting for a while, so it has a lot of active things going on in it, a lot of fungus and a lot of microbials. So if we put this on the bottom and then cover it in wood chips, it'll kind of have a head start, and it should inoculate the wood chips a lot quicker with the fungals we need. And any of the big chunky thick pieces I'll put in the burn pile, and we'll burn them during some campfire this summer. But most of it's grass and like really decayed pieces. All that stuff is going in the bottom of the mulch pile. So it's getting some work done here. Hopefully this Dozer guy shows up at a reasonable hour. And hopefully the sun stays out. It's super nice today. Glorious day at the 100-acre plantation. Love it. On my way to go check to see if that Amazon package came. Look, a little garden snake. Snakes have crazy colors up here. All growing up my whole life, all the gardener snakes have looked the same my whole life. But up here they all have different patterns, and I even seen some bright green ones. He's like, screw you, buddy. He's like, get out of here. There he goes. Just taking a little break from lawn work or yard work or whatever you want to call it. I'm kind of freeing up a lawn spot. It's actually going to be a gardening spot eventually, and a canvas tent spot, but look at that. That chunk taken out of my knife. I was cutting a little tree sapling close to the ground in a spot that I would have never imagined a rock being in, but there was a rock there. I flattened it out a little. I really gotta go look through all my stuff to see where the bastard file is. I know it's in here somewhere. I definitely had it when I went to pack stuff. This is a Jeff White Bush 1 knife. This is Jeff White's symbol. And look, this is a Pathfinder's one. Good luck finding one of these days with the Pathfinder symbol on it. I mean, maybe on eBay you can find one. But I bought this one from Jeff White, I believe. Yeah, this one was from Jeff White, and it was when he was still selling some of the Pathfinder ones. And this knife is awesome. Pathfinder Bush knife is quite a bit bigger than this. This is like, I don't know, 4 1/4 inches maybe 4.5. The Pathfinder Bush knife, which is made by Jeff White, is the same exact knife, but everything is a little bit bigger. The handle's a little bit bigger, and the blade is a little bit bigger. But this knife is really easy to keep sharp, easy to keep a convex edge on, and you can whack with it. It kind of cuts like an axe, kind of like a mini axe. If you put a piece of wood behind it to add some heft to it, this thing really works really well. And for an everyday carry knife, this has just been the best. I've been carrying this for 3 years now. And it's short enough that you can get your finger up on it, so you can do some skinning. And you can carve with it. You can do pretty much everything you need to with it, but obviously you can't do heavy work that you could do with like a much bigger knife. Can't bushwhack with it or anything. But man, this Bush 1 Pathfinder's edition by Jeff White, the thing is an epic knife. It's getting some major wear. I need to take sandpaper to it and restain it. Do some maintenance, but like I said, 3 years of it being on my side right now. This is what it looks like. I carry this and I carry a Leatherman Wingman. Together, those two can do pretty much anything. Alright, I gotta finish up this break. I'm gonna go cut a couple trees down in the driveway before he gets here with the dozer. Oh, that sound is the truck pulling up right now. Shake the camera. Yeah. There we go. That's us. Nice, look at that beast. Yeah, that thing is a monster. Total beast. Push the trees right out the way like nothing. Oh, we need one of those. Thing has no problem clearing land. Thing is sweet. Hell yeah. Man, that's gonna have no problem taking care of this road. Clearing out this spot for the cabin. Well, he's gonna drop that off tonight and go get a load of gravel so he can gravel in as he's working. And tomorrow morning he'll be here to rip up the rest of the driveway. I'm super psyched this is finally happening. So when he turned up this ground down here, it's kind of wet over here. Man, that's some pretty good soil. I'm trying to figure out where to get some soil. Mix that with some wood chips and stuff, and that'd probably be pretty good. So I'm probably gonna have to start loading up wheelbarrows down here and collect this dirt that he's just turned up and put it over on the garden. It's really nice stuff. This stuff too, he's gonna plow all this stuff and put it in there tomorrow, and a lot of that's going to be good garden stuff, so I have to come down here with a wheelbarrow and collect a bunch and start building the garden with that. Well, sunset on day 30, pretty epic one today. Figured I'd pull you guys out at the end of it here. Oh, got the dozer here, got a bunch of stuff cut. Cleared some more space around where the cabin's gonna go so I can have kind of a yard, and the bugs won't be as bad if it's opened up a little bit, so I'm gonna open that up a little bit more even. And man, look at that sunset. Epic. Super great. End of day 30, so see you guys early tomorrow morning. I don't know what time he's gonna get here tomorrow. If it rains in the morning, then it'll be after it stops raining. But if it doesn't rain, then he'll be here probably at like 7 in the morning. Get that road banged out. So, see you guys in the morning. Man, that is a nice sunset. Looks pretty epic out here. Get some great sunset, especially for the woods. It's crazy. All right, morning of day 31. Got the fishing pole in hand. I'm gonna go do some fishing for a couple hours this morning, or an hour this morning, before the guy comes to work with the dozer. Spend an hour fishing, and then I'll get back and cut some trees down, get some more stuff out of his way. But I want to get some fishing done. I finally dug up some worms yesterday, and I have a couple grubs that I found. Should be able to land one of these fish. If they're in here, they'll bite on these. I've been just fishing topwater this whole time, and they're not biting on that yet, that's for sure. It's so cold. It's not warm enough for them to be looking for caterpillars and topwater stuff. Whew, it's raining out too. It's always raining out here. Misting pretty good. So I'm gonna do some fishing. I'll bring you guys back if I catch anything. If not, I'll see you guys at the driveway when the excavator starts going. All right, here we go. Tractor in the back. Coming on out. This is the spot for the cabin. So he's gonna pull up all this. Yeah, getting all these stumps pulled up like nothing. Alright, I'll bring you guys back after we get some of this done. Don't got enough memory to film the whole thing. Need to get myself a GoPro. Man, that thing's such a beast. Just clearing a trail. Flatten this all out, have a perfect spot for the cabin. Man, it has no problem pushing all that stuff out the way. John Deere is a monster. Man, it's awesome to have big equipment. I need to get something like that. Man, look at that. It's like 10 minutes of work. They've already cleared out the spot for the cabin. Anytime you buy a piece of property that is really wild and overgrown and a driveway that hasn't been established, you're gonna have to have someone come in and take 6 inches off the top so you can put gravel down. So if you just put it down on the mud, it'll just sink right through. So he's gonna take 6 inches off, we put 12 inches of gravel, and then next year I'll probably put another 6 inches of gravel over everything, and it should be good. All that stuff he's taken off the top is primo garden material. So we're gonna come out here with the wheelbarrow after he's finished and just fill the wheelbarrow up like 20 times and bring it up to the garden space, and we can fill in most of the garden space with that. That topsoil and some compost would be perfect. Everything up there is real sandy where the garden is, but down here all this organic material has been building up, so this is the good stuff down here, but all the light and sunshine is up there. So we're gonna move a bunch of this, a lot of this topsoil up to the garden in the next couple days. Man, this is awesome. I need a piece of equipment like this. First load of gravel. First load of gravel down. Sweet. Well, the road guy is going to get a couple more loads of gravel. He has to go and dig them out of a pit and then put them through a sifter. Man, it's gonna be nice to have this road done. And look at all the awesome fireplace rocks that came up out of the road when he plowed it up. There's still more in there too, so I'll be able to build my fire pits in the 3 different campsites I have on the property. I need fire pits there so you can legally have fires without a permit. So this is gonna be more than enough to finish the one at the camp we've been at, which is base camp 1. The cabin will be base camp 2, and then the spot by the garden will be base camp 3. And we gotta get fire pits at all 3 of those spots over the next week or so. We got plenty of rocks now. I just gotta drag them in the sled. I might need to take that big rock out because, man, this sled is a little heavier than I thought it was gonna be. Good for the legs though, good workout, hauling a sled full of rocks. Man, that John Deere is so sick. Like, it can just like clear out all these trees that I've been cutting. Man, half of them I didn't even have to cut. I could have just let him clear them out, but we want to use the trees for wood chips, so he's just burying all the ones he pulls up. Ordered the wood chipper last night too. It's only a 3-inch wood chipper, but I had to order it last night, even though the mail didn't come yesterday. I had no choice. It was the last day it was on sale, and it was $350 savings. So, and that's the Bushmaster is the one I wanted, so I ordered that last night and bought the $100 insurance plan for 3 years. So we should be able to get that, keep that chipper going for the next 3 years. Should be able to make plenty of compost with that. Just compost all the leaves up, all the wood we get, compost it all. Anything that's organic that doesn't need to be standing on the property, we're gonna take down. You know, we're not gonna clear cut everything or anything like that, but you know, every place we clear for a camp, we'll process all that wood into wood chips, put it in a pile, let it heat up, and compost down, and the next year we'll use it in the garden. So I'm excited. A lot going on, getting a lot done right now, and I'm gonna call the cabin people right now and tell them that the plan is to have the cabin spot finished in the next 2 days. So hopefully that'll come sometime the next week. All right. Uncle David DEECEE's Adventures in the 100 Acres Plantation. It's going great. I'm just taking a break here, eating a little granola bar, airing my feet out because, man, those boots are getting hot when you're doing all the work. Taking a little break, though, while he's out grabbing some gravel from the pit. There was a reason why I started this video, but I can't remember now. I was going to talk to you about something. Oh, man, I ripped my shirt even more today. I didn't even notice that. I wonder when I did that. Well, I got dishes to do. I got a bunch of stuff to do. But I'm going to sit here and relax for a little while. Let my feet dry out there, sweating in those muck boots. Well, anyways, like I was saying before my phone rang, and every single time, that's my work phone, and all it does is ring all the time, and there's nobody ever there. But anyways, like I was saying, the topsoil down there is epic. So we're going to wheelbarrow it up and put it in that garden space. And I might get some peat moss and a couple bags of regular, like, compost soil, or compost actually, and mix it in there. But that'll be, I can fill that garden so much cheaper, nearly for free, by using that stuff down there. And that's going to be right behind the cabin. So we're going to do another garden space right behind there where he's dumping all that. We'll flatten it out a little, and it will already be turned up and everything. So we'll plant straight into that. Corn or something, probably just corn. We'll do tons of corn back there, and then put hay down or grass down as a mulch, and we should be able to grow right in that. And then after that mulch breaks down, next year we should be able to just grow right in there, and we'll have a garden space right behind the cabin. But yeah, I also collected a whole gallon jug of worms from when he was turning up that topsoil. I just saw hundreds of worms coming up, so I gathered all those. So we got enough worms for fishing for the next month probably. Pretty sweet. Got to find a cool place. I have to dig a hole or something to keep the container in, so they have a nice cool place to live. Getting a lot done. Super psyched. I'm gonna call the cabin people right now and tell them 2 days we'll be ready. Yeah, you see this? All that stuff that's on top and all that stuff on the side there, that's all great material for the garden. So we're just come down here with a wheelbarrow. I'd say it's about 8 wheelbarrows and 10 bags of compost on top of that, and then wood chips. And that garden will be awesome. And this space that he's cleared out too, that's where the cabin's going, but he cleared this whole space so he had a place to dump the dirt. And we're gonna come through here and build a couple gardens in here too. So there's a couple gardens here by the cabin. Man, it's crazy how much land that dozer can clear and how quick. Definitely see why some of these forests are in danger. So that's a small one. They have equipment that's like, I don't know, 5-6 times that size. Must be able to just roll right over a whole forest. All right, well, bring you guys back when the next load comes in. Dumped a load of gravel. Spreading her out. Get out of his way. Yep, I just looked at the video. Eggs are gone. Probably was a blue jay or something, but there's not even any eggshells. There aren't even any eggshells, so it must have been something big enough to take the whole egg. And there were 4 of them in there. But I noticed that the mother was gone the other day, and I come down here for firewood every day. So I noticed the mother was gone, and the fisher hole is right there. That's where the fisher is, or a minx, but now that I've seen lots of pictures, I'm pretty sure it was a fisher cat. So I figured the fisher probably got mom when she was just eating some grubs by the nest. And I don't know what came up and got the eggs. Something got them though. Crazy. These weird dig marks. They're always over here. It's not a canine. It's either that fisher or a bobcat. It's gotta be. There's another moose track too, but it got rained on last night. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, maybe they call them fisher cats because they like to pee in the sand. I don't see any poop in there or anything though. I don't know. Whatever it is, it has some big ass claws. You can see it's been digging. Whoa. It's been digging hard. I don't know what it is. We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Morning of day 32. Looks like it's gonna be an epic battle here. We'll see what happens. Oh, is that it? Oh man, that was lame. The spider is supposed to ill on that thing. Guess the spider knows that thing probably has a stinger. So much for that, little buddy. It's gonna be your big chance. Your YouTube debut. The fighting spider. Screwed it up, bud. Alright, well, day 32, I believe. I think. I might have to go and look back at that. But 3rd day of having the excavator here, and we should get everything done today. Got about 6 loads of gravel coming in today. I'm going to go and cut some more trees around the camp area, free it up, open it up a little bit. Maybe the bugs won't be so bad. You know, the bugs aren't that bad up here where it's all open. So I'm hoping if I open up the land down there a little bit, the bugs will be a little bit better. Get some more sunshine down there. Alright, well, I'm gonna get to getting stuff done. See you guys later. Alright. First truckload of the day. Just showing up. Shaky camera. Sorry, guys. I need to get a gimbal. Uh-oh. Got the line up still, though. I don't know if he can dump it. Nope, no problem. Oh, that thing goes way up. Nice. First load of the day. Just came up here to get the wheelbarrow because we're going to collect some of that soil, throw in this garden space. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that. That is a potato sprout. The potatoes are already surfacing, only about 5 days in. So we're gonna have massive potatoes. Potatoes are coming along, super psyched. The wild au naturel garden starting to produce already. Or at least starting to grow. We'll see how it produces. But we're gonna get some stuff to fill this in, because I put that winter ryegrass cover crop in there, but it was just too sandy, so it's not coming up. So I'm gonna cover it in a layer of stuff. And then it's gonna rain tomorrow, later tonight, tomorrow morning, and that winter rye crop should come up. But I don't know. I was hoping it was gonna be up already. You know, I was only gonna grow that for 2 weeks and then mulch it in, kind of like work it in, and then cover it in soil. But we might have to cover it in soil before it gets to that 2-week mark. We'll see. You know, we'll see how fast the vegetables are coming up. They're all coming up now in the greenhouse. So, I don't know. They probably will spend another 2 weeks in the greenhouse, but maybe not. So we'll see if this winter ryegrass even does anything. But we wanted it to come up for 2 weeks and then cut it down, and that should add nitrogen to the garden. But I don't know. We'll see how the time thing works out. Yeah, look at this stuff. This is what the Dozer revealed. It's like, it was obviously, there was a yard here, you know, since it was close to the road. They had the wood lot here. So when they would cut this property, they would bring the wood down to this lot. Well, this must have been a place where they were either stacking wood or cutting wood and leaving the wood chips right here. Because all the dirt right here, everything that's under the ground right here, is like a mixture of decayed wood and soil, which is exactly what we need. So we're gonna fill this bucket full of that and then cover that garden. There's a lot here. There's enough here to fill that whole garden. So that's gonna save me a couple $100 at least on soil to fill that garden. Now we'll just have to get a couple bags of compost, and then we'll cover it in wood chips, and that should be pretty good. Shouldn't need to do much more with it. Maybe we'll get some guano and other natural fertilizers to add to it as well, organic style. Oh man, out of breath hauling this thing uphill. There it is, and there it is. So look how dry that sand is. It's gonna be great to get that stuff on it. Man, this stuff is nice. Can you believe that was just hidden on the ground down there? Whew, I fill this whole garden up for free. All right, well, this garden is completely covered now in a layer of that mulchy ground soil that the excavator exposed. This stuff is beautiful. I think I'm gonna get a couple wheelbarrows and put a layer of it on top of that part of the garden too, because that's still pretty sandy on top. And since it's from the property and all natural, it can go in the wild garden. So we're gonna put a layer of that on it. And then one of the neighbors has been cutting all their grass in their yard, and they have a lawnmower that catches the clippings. So he's gonna bring me a couple barrels of his lawn clippings. And then we're probably gonna go around and gather it again too, but we cut down all the long grass over here pretty much. It's growing back fast though. So we'll put a layer of this stuff and then a layer of grass, and then we're about a week away in the greenhouse from planting all the squashes in that side. Can't wait. Man, the black flies are getting pretty thick out here. You probably see them flying in front of the camera. But man, this stuff we found down at the property, down at the site for the cabin, this stuff is just great. It's amazing next layer. This is exactly what we needed. I wish we had found it before so we could have put some on the potatoes. But it's definitely going to be great for the vegetables, because all that stuff was pretty sandy. This adds like a lot of, it's pretty much as compost. I mean, this is pretty much like what happens to the wood chips when you leave them for 2 years in a pile. They break down into this stuff. But this stuff is just great. This will keep the moisture in on this garden. It's gonna help a lot because I gotta haul all the water by hand. And I filled in this garden too. So once that winter rye comes up, we'll put another layer of probably this stuff mixed with just some dirt. And then we'll buy a truckload of compost and we'll put that in there, and then this garden will be going. But this thing will be done and ready for planting by the end of the day. One more wheelbarrow full, just cover up all the sand on the edge, get a nice layer in there. That's going to be a good gardening right there. Great gardening. And the potatoes are already popping, so we're in it. It's going down. 2019 garden, definitely on its way. Gourmet lettuce blend here is popping off. Another 10 days we'll be eating lettuce from here for sure. Microgreens are going okay. They've all popped and split, but they're kind of growing slower than I expected. I kind of expected them to all have leaves on them by now. Broccoli is popping off. Everything else, not quite. Beet leaves are not going yet. Look, these cucumbers though. Cucumbers are coming up fast. And the basil. Basil too. Everything else not so much. But the zucchini, I can see the zucchini. They're coming up. Whew. Getting excited. Things are growing over here. Got things growing on. Well, he's on his last couple hauls. At like 2 to 3 more loads that have to come in here. One more load that has to come in, and we got everything we planned to do. But I think I'm gonna get a couple more loads brought in so I can fix this other side a little bit more, so I can continue to get the car or get the Escape all the way back to where the gardens are. Man, look at this piece of equipment here. This thing is a beast. 450J. LGP, Nortrax, hardcore tracks on that thing. Man, look at it. That's a piece of equipment. You got a lot of work done with that thing. Didn't take him much to get this done. Driveway is pretty much graveled. The whole spot for the cabin's almost done. Sounds like him right now. Nope, school bus. Yep, the school bus even goes by once a day here. On kind of a main road here, which is nice. Makes it easy access. And then 100 acres of wilderness behind us is sweet. Well, I'll bring you guys back once we're completely done with this. I don't know if it's going to get done tonight, but maybe I'll see you guys by the campfire tonight. Probably going to have a fire, though, outside. It's too warm to have one inside, and these bugs are just absolutely crazy. I'm hoping if I have a good campfire, it'll kind of keep them out of camp tonight. They're not even as bad as they get. Next week, they'll pretty much be as bad as they get. And then once it heats up over 85, I guess they burn off. Alright, see y'all later. End of day 32. Pretty tired. Ready to go to bed. The driveway is pretty much done though. I can definitely get down it and out, especially if there's an emergency now, so that's nice. Too windy to have a campfire, too windy to have even the stove going. Tent's blowing all over the place. The stovepipe actually popped out of the wood stove and I had to get it all situated back in. But I'm gonna just call it a night. Ate a cold dinner and gonna just go to bed early tonight probably and get up early and get down to the driveway. Got a lot done filling the gardens though. That patch that he hit of dead wood that was buried in the ground there, that was just the best. There's so much good soil there. I've already pulled 8 wheelbarrows out and it's just perfect stuff. It's basically the same stuff that you buy in a bag at the store when you're getting like soil building stuff. So that's pretty cool. And I might even get some cow manure down the road. The convenience store that's about 15 miles away, I'm gonna have to go to in a couple days here and put some gas in the car and stuff and get a gas can for the wood chipper, because the wood chipper is coming on Monday morning, which today's Thursday. So I'll have to run down to get some stuff, but she has some bags of cow manure over there, so I might get a couple of those too for the organic garden, the non-wild garden, but the organic garden next to it. Put some of those down, and then just use more stuff from where he dug up. There's so much good dirt down there, like the texture and everything is just so perfect, great drainage and everything. So that's gonna save me a lot, save me a couple $100 on soil that I would have needed to get to fill that thing. So all I need is a little cow manure, and if I can get a couple bags of compost too, I'll put that in there, and that should be good. That garden should be good for this year. Just gotta collect more grass for mulch, and then the wood chipper's coming on Monday, so we'll have plenty of wood chips coming up. So things are finally going, and they're going along. The rain is kind of stopped. It's gonna rain a little bit tomorrow morning, but for the most part the rain has stopped and things are going. Summer's on its way. 100-acre plantation out in Maine. Gotta love it. Morning of day 33. I had a hard time getting up today. I gotta finish getting dressed. Man, you guys missed a really awesome sunset last night. It was awesome, but my stuff was all charging, so I went out there and then realized I didn't have anything to film it with. But man, I don't know if you can see this. All these bumps. The black flies are thick yesterday, and they got up under my head net and got me pretty good. Got like one big one on my forehead, but I got like 20 of them on my neck, right around where they can get into the net. So that sucks. I try to stay covered up a little bit better today. I need to get a net. I need to get a net that's like veils over my shoulders, you know? It doesn't just stop at the neck. I'm gonna have to make one and buy some stuff. I'm gonna order some stuff tonight actually, so I can make a better head net that they definitely can't get into, or that I can tuck into my shirt, you know? So then they definitely can't get into it. That's the only place I got it, my hands and on my neck. Damn black flies. If you live in a place with black flies, they can be pretty annoying and cause a lot of damage. But alright, I gotta collect tons of camp water. Camp water and greenhouse water. I go collect all that. Anyways, like I was saying, we had to get water for the greenhouse and the garden as well, because we're gonna have to probably gonna have to water those potatoes in a little bit. It rained a little this morning though, so they might be okay, but I want to make sure those stay wet enough. And then I'm gonna get my stuff together and I gotta run to town. Last night he cleaned up the road enough that I could get on and off of it, so I ran to town and got a sandwich, and just to the closest town, which is like 20 miles away. And the the lady at the convenience store has some cow manure, so I'm going to go over there and get a couple bags of that from her and maybe see if there's any groceries at the convenience store that I could get at today, because last night I just got a sandwich and then came back because I was just so dead tired. But I'm going to go down there, grab a couple bags of cow manure to put on the organic garden, and then I'm going to go to the mill. The mill is like another like 15 miles down the road from there. It's about 35 miles from here. But I'm going to go down there to the mill and put an order in with them for some wood so we can build a platform for this canvas tent when we get off of it. We're going to move it to a place that gets better wind and better breeze, so hopefully all summer it'll get a good breeze and keep the bugs away, and we can still sit in the canvas tent and hang out in that, and put it closer to the gardens too, so we can look at the gardens while we're lounging out this summer. And I gotta put an order in for the big cement blocks. They want the cabin people say I shouldn't use regular cement blocks. I should use these big round cement pads that they make, but they're about 100 pounds a piece, and I need 6 of them. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get those in my escape, so I'm going to see when they're going to be able to deliver them. If they can deliver them on time, then I'm going to order the wood and the cement slabs all to the driveway, and hopefully they'll have them delivered Monday or Tuesday, because that's probably when the cabin's coming. So if they can't get them delivered on time, then I guess I'm going to have to try to figure out how to jam them in my vehicle. But I don't see how that's possible, especially since I have to take all my hunting rifles and my laptop and camera gear and everything. I have to take that with me because apparently there's a bunch of thieves that live out here, so I don't want to leave anything behind that I'm going to be really bummed out about if it gets stolen. So that's what I'm going to do, go collect camp water, and then the guy with the excavator will come and drop the last 2 loads, finish up the road, and then after that I'm going to go to town behind him, lock up the gate, and head on out. So trying to get some stuff done today. Man, these black flies got me good though. I can feel it. They itch really bad. So anybody who's dealt with black flies, they know they suck. Alright, see you guys later. Well, the blueberries are doing so great. And look, this is one of these wild strawberries. I have them all over the property. I'm gonna have to move some to the garden to see how they do there. But it doesn't look like the rabbits messed them up too bad. They're all flowering, so it's pretty cool. And just made an order with the mill, and I don't even have to go down there. They said I can pay for the order at the driveway when they deliver it. So they're gonna bring the cement blocks to put the cabin on and bring all the wood so we can build a permanent platform for this canvas tent. So when my family comes up, they can stay in the canvas tent and I'll be down at the cabin. Pretty psyched. I'll probably spend most of the summer in the canvas tent still too, because the bugs are really bad down there. That cabin is really going to be like the winter cabin. That's why it's down by the road, so it's easy access during the winter. We won't have to plow a lot. And during the summer, the cabin's probably going to be pretty warm considering it's not insulated or anything. So we're going to put this canvas tent on the platform in a place where it gets good wind. Open it all up, have the screens on it. Anybody who buys a canvas tent, make sure you buy one with a screen door and 3 screened windows. You gotta have them. There she is right there. But when the bugs are really bad, that screened in area is your only sanctuary. That's all you got. And they were bad yesterday, and they're gonna be bad. The next 2 weeks, they're gonna be really bad. And as soon as it gets up to like 85, 90 degrees, all the black flies will die off. And the mosquitoes will be here all summer, but the mosquitoes aren't that bad. You can deal with them. The black flies just swarm you though, and they got me good yesterday. Got me good. Well, it looks like he just dropped the last load. Let's get over there so it's not so shaky. Last load of material. He's dropping a little at the front of the driveway so we can make a place for the mail person to pull up and drop the mail. This is a little bit finer stuff too. Put finer stuff on the top that's been ran through a sifter that doesn't allow more than 4 inches up. he might just be going and getting, he might get the flatbed to haul the John Deere off when it's time to go. Yeah, it kind of looks like he might just be leaving. But then he's going to come and flatten this out, and then the road will be done. Last day of Dozer work. Well, and that's how you build the driveway up in the northern woods of Maine. Nice little flat that we got here for the cabin too. And it's at an angle, so the water should run away. Shouldn't have any problem with water pulling up around the cabin. And the mill's gonna bring these big cement blocks, so next couple days I'll show you what those look like. There's certain blocks that you're supposed to put a cabin up on. Oh, there it is. The hole's all covered up. The flat for the cabin, and then the road out. This whole area looks totally different than it did 4 weeks ago when we first started. I mean, this was all trees next to me, you know? This was all thick trees, just like on this other side. It's all that thick right here. But now it's all clear, ready for a cabin. That guy had good pricing and took care of me pretty well. He spent a lot of time on the Dozer he didn't charge me for. Awesome. A lot of people up here, they're just glad to see people, I think, moving out into this area because the population here is so small. There's only 7 families in the town that I live in, 7 households. 9 people, I guess, that live here year round. Well, it's awesome. And we got plenty of big rocks for a fireplace and everything like that. We're going to build the outdoor kitchen out here. Got to build a shed so we can put the propane-powered freezer in and keep all the meat and everything frozen all year round. And we're going to put it in the shed so when winter comes, we can just turn off the propane and the shed will be cold enough that it will keep everything frozen for those winter months. You don't have to pay propane during the winter. As you can see, the black flies are absolutely crazy. They got me good yesterday, so I'm going to try to stay out of them today. And I ordered some no-seam net. I'm going to make like a veil that they definitely can't get through. And then I don't have to worry about them. I don't mind wearing a head net all day if it's going to keep me from getting all bit up. Well, the road's done. It's Friday. And we're almost done with week 5. Still got a couple more nights to go, but we're going to just relax the next couple days. Now that all this is done and the order is put in for all the wood and everything we need at the mill, they're going to deliver it right to the driveway. Friday night, all we can do is relax now. I'm going to run to the post office and do some errands, but we're pretty much just going to be relaxing all weekend. Laid back weekend. And get back to it on Monday. We got the wood chipper coming Monday and all kinds of stuff coming Monday, so have a relaxing weekend. I'll bring you guys back when we see some animals and if we're doing anything interesting. We might go and tap that spring actually this weekend. Put that at the end of this week's video. But I'm excited. The road at the survival property, I couldn't get anybody to come and do the road there. This guy, I wish he was down south. We could get that property all situated and get a road there and I could sell it and make some real money off of it and pay this property off. But, you know, that's too far a travel for him. But I need someone that does work like this and does a good job for an affordable price at the property down in Brownfield at the survival property because the road is still not done there. This guy would have had it done in 2 days. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Alright, got camp water already. Got enough fire for the next day or 2 since we're not really running the fire at all. Went to town Went to the post office first, that's right up the street, and then it closed at 12. I got there at 12:05. So I decided I'd go to Springfield, which is about 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away. Went down there, and the post office down there actually closed at 11:30. Some older guy told me on the road that it was open all day, but yeah, so the post offices you have to go to before noon. I should have figured that. But when I was down there, I figured I'd get some food. I got the bag of cow manure to put in the organic garden. And I got a bunch of hard ciders. Haven't had a drink in over a month, but it's actually been longer than that because I wasn't drinking before I came out here. I don't know, I haven't had a drink in like 4.5 months or something. So I'm gonna have a couple ciders today. I've got a pizza from the convenience store, or from the little stand. It's like a little food stand. And I'm just gonna relax and enjoy the weekend. And try to stay away from the black flies for a couple days. Let my neck heal up, because man, last night hauling those barrels, the wheelbarrow full of soil up to the garden spot, since we were doing all that groundwork, it kicks up so many of those black flies. They're just so thick down there. Now that we got the gravel down, they won't be as thick because it kind of suppresses them. But man, they got me good. My whole back of my neck is just all covered in bumps. So I'm just going to relax, have some drinks, chill out. I think I pretty much have everything done for today, so I don't really need to do much. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm just going to relax today and enjoy having the road done. And get ready for Monday, because Monday morning the wood chipper comes. We're going to get to work with that and chip up all these trees we've been taking down. And we're going to find some more leaf matter to run through there so we can make some compost and get going on that whole project. And that's about it. Just going to relax Friday afternoon. Take a load off. Having a couple ciders, hanging out. I'm just looking at the mosquitoes on the screen. The mosquitoes have definitely come out now. So there's black flies and mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes have a way of getting in here. It's probably the flap where the lodge poles used to go through before we got the frame. So I'm gonna have to make like something out of no-seam net to cover that flap up so it's like completely covered during the summer. And I think these bugs won't have a way of getting in, but they're getting in like one at a time. Like every 20 minutes one figures out how to get in through that little hole. And I have to get it. But there's a lot of mosquitoes. Like all of these screens have like, I don't know, 50 to 100 mosquitoes flying around the whole thing. It's just tons of mosquitoes. So the mosquitoes are definitely out in the evening now here. And black flies all day, driving you crazy. So depending on where you are in Maine, you do have to deal with those things. So you got to think about that. I'm just glad to have the road done, celebrating a couple ciders. Getting ready for another day. Sunset's going right now. Alright, day 34. This is a 2-inch pipe here. So I'm actually going to go and water the garden a little bit. I went to the post office this morning to ship some stuff out I needed to put in the mail. But I'm going to carve this up. I'm going to cut the end off and put slices in it for the water to pass through. And it's really hard for me to explain how it's going to work. I've never seen this done, but I have seen pipes coming out of springs before for collecting water. So I'm hoping this will work. When I get this all worked up, I'll come and bring you guys back and show you what the plan is here. Oh yeah, I forgot I got that, so I'm going to have to bring that over to the garden too. I'm going to water everything over there, and then I'll lay that out in that one garden. Let it start breaking down a little in there. Things are happening in here. We got cucumbers, zucchinis up. We've got, the Big Mac's pumpkins are up. We've got some summer squash coming up. Basil is all up. Watermelon, first watermelon's coming up. These green beans have all sprouted but haven't come up yet. Kale, corn, all the sweet corn. Nice row of sweet corn going in somewhere. All kinds of things. Broccoli and nothing else in that tray. The lettuce over here, it's blowing up. 10 days, or about 8 days, we're probably gonna have food out of that one. Microgreens, all popped and are growing. These will probably be done in about 10 days as well. The beet leaves have not come up yet, but that's a pretty hard seed, the beet seed, so you know, sometimes those take a little while to come up. But I've had these seeds for a while too. Oh well, I see some right here. This one on the surface, look at that. Sprouted. Give it a little hole. Bury that a little bit better. Alright, so the beets should be on their way too. And the beets, once they pop up, it's only like 5 to 7 days, 10 days, you could start harvesting the first leaves. I planted these so densely that we'll harvest some of those first leaves, which will likely kill the plant. It probably won't produce more. So you really want it to have 2 big leaves before you start harvesting. But I planted these so close that we could start harvesting right away and thinning it out. So we can get some salad in the salad bowl. Alright, well, everything's watered in here. I gotta go get a bucket full of water from the spring, which is kind of a haul. So I gotta go get that because we gotta water the potatoes out front. A lot of airplanes have been going by today. They're all like water planes. They've got like gear to land on the water. So I didn't realize that people used a lot of those up here in Maine, but I guess they do. Maybe they put skis on them and land on the lakes in the winter too with them, like in Alaska, but I don't know. I grew up in Maine, and my dad's place wasn't too far from here. He was in northern Maine, but I've never seen any planes like that. I guess growing up on the big lakes, when you were fishing the big lakes, you would see water planes land every once in a while, actually. Now that I think about it. When I was a kid, I remember seeing some. Alright, go collect that water. Just out doing my chores, but you see this? See these little feathers? There's a whole bunch of them scattered around here. And this is right by camp. This was in here like an hour ago when I just walked through here. There were some orioles. No, not orioles. I think they're robins. Yeah, they were robins. Eating the bugs and stuff out of the holes. There was 2 of them, and they've been coming here every day. I know, I still see them over there. So I don't know what got. I don't know what got it either. But I don't know. Maybe it was that fisher cat. I think he's been eating some birds lately. Pretty interesting. A little blueberry patch right there. Doing so great. Alright, I gotta go finish collecting this water. Alright, so there's the first cut. Just put an angle on it. It probably should have been more steep than that even. Yeah, it probably should have been. But that should work. It's pretty soft over there where we're gonna drive this in. But you probably wanna make that line longer, like back here, and do more of an angle, but it's not super easy with the Laplander. I mean, the Laplander does it, but that's what we're working with, is this backhoe Laplander. So now I gotta do some cuts. We're gonna do some cuts along this, like down to here. Yeah, that's the robin. Second time I've seen that robin since I started this little project. So there we go. I still have a couple more I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut down to here. But we got lines in it. Let the water through, a little spiked end so we can pound it in. And I'm hoping that clean water is gonna shoot out of this side. And we're gonna cut the bin. We're gonna cut a hole as evenly as we can with a really sharp knife. So this fits in it. And hopefully it doesn't have a lot of room for bugs and stuff to get by. Yeah, that robin though, out there hunting by itself. It's been with another robin. Every time I've seen it the last like 3 or 4 days, it's been with another bird. And now every time I've seen it today, or since we got back to camp, it's been alone. So that's sad. I think that Fisher or something got it. There's got to be foxes out here too, but I haven't seen any yet. So it's sad. Something got it. I don't know what. Creatures are out there. I hear stuff running around the canvas tent every single night, but it's usually just the bunnies. Sometimes I'll check and it's just the bunnies running around in circles around the tent. The rabbits, they're chasing each other. They're crazy. Alright, well, I'm gonna make a couple more cuts in this and then go down to the spring, I guess. Okay, let's hope that's a good place for the hole. This thing fits in though. And you can see light in a couple spots, but that's okay. When this thing starts to overflow, once the water gets there, it'll have a place to leak out. And I don't know, it's enough space, it should probably leak out fast enough that it doesn't overflow, but it doesn't matter if it overflows. We just don't want animals to get into it. And there's not that much space, so I mean, some bugs could probably get into it and probably will, but for the most part, there shouldn't be bugs like laying eggs and stuff in here. So, I gotta go get the shovel, and I guess we'll go and mess with the spring. Here's that bright green snake. Pretty cool. So green. Oh no, never seen one of those before. Cool little guy. Blends in so perfectly though. Alright, this thing's all put together. And I went down to the spring and dug it out. And dug a spot out that that bin would fit in. But the bugs are just so thick down there right now at the meadow that I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning. And we'll go and try to drive that in and see if it works. It might not work. I don't know anything about this. This is just, I just came up with this and I was hoping that it would work. So we'll see tomorrow morning. Well, it's pretty dark, so you can't even see it. Eating dinner. Look at this guy. Right outside the tent. He's like listening to make sure there's no fisher cat coming. No badgers or anything. Wolverines. Yeah, we got wolverines out here. Those are really badass. What's up, little Thumpy? I'm gonna have to come out there in a minute. Sort out the last of the night, buddy. Well, end of day 33. Look at that, that's a big moose track, so is that. Day 35. I just ran to town, got some supplies that we needed and a little more soil for some garden starts. But I don't know, I didn't notice this when I left, but there's moose tracks on both sides of my chain. So he must have got to the chain and either jumped over it. Yeah, it looks like he stepped over it or jumped over it because these are pretty deep. But that just happened this morning. I don't know, he might be up the road, so we'll see when we get up there. Well, the tracks did go right up the driveway. I don't know how long ago she came up, but there's got to be a moose out here somewhere. Should be on the property still. But I don't have time to go look for her right now. Went to town, got a bunch of stuff, got some more gardening stuff so we can keep that going and hopefully finish off that second bed. And I was collecting grass last night when it was cool. I'm going to do that again tonight, and then we should have enough grass to use as mulch on the second half of that first bed. And we're about a week away from planting all that stuff, so pretty cool. Went to town to get a trash can too. Oh yeah, we're gonna do the spring project too. Hopefully that works. But got a trash can because when I asked the town guy yesterday when he was over where the dump is, he said that all I have to do is put a trash can out there on Wednesday morning, and at about 8 o'clock in the morning they'll come and get it. That is crazy. This is the first rural, like, out in the sticks place I've lived at that had trash collection at the driveway. Even when I was in California, the property I was at was way out in the desert, but a trash truck went by every once a week. But our lot, we couldn't get trash collected at it. I think maybe if we bought like a big metal bin, like a dumpster, they would have, and put it at the end of the road, maybe they would have collected it. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's awesome. I figured I'd have to haul trash once a week over to the dump, but just put it in this bin. I only come up with about a 20-gallon bag full of trash every week, and that's while I'm setting up. So once I'm just living here and not setting up, I should probably only have like a quarter to half a bag of trash every week at the most. Especially once we're doing the garden, because a lot of the trash comes from packaging of food, over packaging of America. That's where a lot of the trash comes from. So, and the bottles and everything that we use, we recycle. And I use these Poland Spring bottles right now for my water. I would just get a 5-gallon jug, but we're going to use these in the garden. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using this particular bottle, because this acts as a sweet dome for plants, and keep that dome on the plants until they get big enough that they outgrow the dome. And then you don't have to worry about the animals so much. The bunnies won't be able to get the dome off of it easily. I mean, they probably can get the dome off of it, but if you tape a little stick to it so there's a spike on it, then they have to really kick it off pretty good to get it off of there. And it just gives the plants a chance to get to a certain size, so when the animals come in and do browse on it, if they get in there, the plant is bigger. If they browse on the plant when it's really little, it's just going to kill it off. So, alright, well, I got to unload all the stuff and maybe stop by the greenhouse, make sure everything's watered. And then I'll put the camera together and I guess go down to the spring and see what's up with that. Try to tap that spring and see how that goes. It might just be a fantasy dream, but I think I'm going to be able to tap that thing and have good, fairly clean water over there. So, hopefully. Alright, I think I have everything loaded up to try to make this happen. And the shovel is already down there. Alright, so we're set up at the hole. You guys are on the tripod. The water is like pretty clear, considering I dug a huge hole here yesterday. So, it looks like this bucket is too high, but it can go a lot lower. But it floats right now because it's in like a puddle. So hopefully when we tap that in, we'll be able to fill this with some water and it will sink down low enough that it'll line up with that. I don't know. There's a couple different places where some water's coming out of the side of the hill that we can try, but this one flows, like completely flows, like steady. So this is probably the one we want. But I can't guarantee this is gonna work. So we're gonna start by driving this thing in and seeing what happens. Seeing if it even goes in. Seeing if anything happens at all. This is the spot though. Right here. Well, it went in a lot easier than I thought it was gonna. And if I put it low enough, it flows. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not sure how I'm going to keep it low enough. Yeah, when it's low, it flows. I don't know, this spring might be too low to the ground to collect it. Because the puddle is like right here. Kind of need it to be higher than this puddle and higher than the bucket. It's a lot lower than the bucket. It's lower than I can even get the bucket, I think. Yep. So I might have to rethink this, but it's running. Oh, get you guys over here. I don't know, can you see that? So it's running. we tapped it. We got the spring. It's a little muddy, but as that all washes out, eventually it'll just be sand and it won't be all muddy like that. But it's because we just tapped it. But it's really going up. Like right now. See, it flows a lot faster as soon as I put it down. You can see all the debris flowing out of it. But if I put it down too much, the puddle backs up into it. Because the puddle is the same height. Oh man, a black fly just got me on the hand. So this is working and it's flowing. But I don't know, it's probably too low to collect out of. I guess I could just line this hole with plastic and just use this hole, not use a bucket, but I don't know. Let me think about this. There's so many bugs around me right now. Black flies and skeeters all around. But they're pretty much staying out of this mask, and I had to put some fly dope on, or some DEET. Put some 40 DEET on today. Not on my skin ever, just on my clothing. And it does at least keep this cloud kind of at bay. Alright, so I'm gonna think about this. I mean, it's flowing. It's flowing with water. I can see water flowing out of it. Whoa. See, having you guys on the tripod makes it a lot harder to move the camera around. Alright, I'm gonna figure this out. Look at those beautiful little flowers. I'm not sure what they are, but they're awesome. Look at all those little flowers behind it. Nice. A couple of fiddleheads too, real small ones. Still edible though. Alright, well, I'm trying to check out a couple different places where there's water seeping out of the hill, but none of it's really flowing like a spring. It's just like seepage. So, I don't know. I'm gonna look around a little bit more, but that might be our only chance over there. No water here, but that's like what they call black gold. It's not worm castings, but it's like where years and years of peat moss have been building up. There's a big section right here that's like wood and peat moss breaking down together. This is good stuff for the garden. I'll come and get a couple wheelbarrows of this at some point. I keep looking. Alright, so I followed the drainage. That's where we were set up. Now I'm up the hill a little bit, and I went to the side of the hill and kind of looked at the vegetation to see where I thought it would be. And we've hit flowing water. So I just got to dig out a hole now big enough for the bucket in here, and then punch that pipe into that hole, and hopefully we'll be collecting water. I'm going to bring you guys back when I'm all done. Alright, well, we got water coming out of that thing. I'm going to let it run for a little while, see if that sand clears up that's in it. It seems like the hole right next to it's running better now, though. So, I don't know. I might need to put like a screen or something on the end of this thing, and it would probably run a lot better, because this is all seepage. It's not really a spring. This is like seepage on the hill where it comes through. And I don't know. I got a million mosquito bites and black fly bites though. So I'm gonna go back up to camp and let that run for a little while, and then I'll come back and dig this a little deeper so the bucket will fit in there, and figure out if I want to try to move that over to that hole. That hole is definitely producing more water right now. So I don't know. I have to think about it. These mosquitoes and black flies are relentless. Well, that's our next solution right there. It's a hole auger I bought a while back. I haven't even used it ever, but we can follow that seepage, the little valley that it's coming down, or the in between the hills that it's coming down. We should be able to go up a little closer to camp and dig like an 18-foot hole and put a pitcher pump, you know, like an old-fashioned pump well that you pump at the top and it comes up. Should be able to do that out here. It's pretty sandy, and we should be able to dig all the way down. There shouldn't be really any rocks. So that's the next step. If I can't figure out how to get this seepage collected, then I'm gonna have to make a shallow well. But I'm gonna try again in a little while here to get that seepage figured out. The bugs, that's just like down there is where the bugs are the worst on the whole property. So got like a million bites on my hands, but it doesn't feel like they got through the head net very much. Well, I'm just dying. This head net's really hot. When the sun's out, you're just sweating in it so hard, and the bugs are driving you crazy. So I'm gonna take a break here for a minute. Well, it's filled up completely, but you can't really see it running. It's kind of running down the hill here. I don't know. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do here about this thing, because I don't know if this one's working really. I might have to get the stuff so I can dig the shallow well just up the hill here. If I dig down like 18 feet, I should hit this water. It's like right where the mud hits the sandy clay layer. That's where the water is. But I don't know. I'm giving up on this whole thing for today. And I'm grabbing the shovel. And if we go through here, geez Louise. This is the one that we were trying to do, and it's cleared out a lot now, but that water is pretty clear. If I don't kick stuff up from the bottom, that's where I'm going to get water today. So I'm going to gather that and then head back to camp for the night. Sunday night. End of week 5. Well, just finished cutting firewood. Got the laptop out, hooked up to the battery pack, gonna upload the videos from this week. Man, it's a shame I didn't get that spring figured out. I mean, I have a big hole now and it's collecting a lot of water, and the water is a lot cleaner than the water that I did have access to. And I'm hoping tomorrow all the mud will have settled out of it and this should be a good usable hole of water there. But it's still not protected from animals, which is what I wanted. I wanted something with a lid that I could open up and scoop water out of and put the lid back on so animals weren't getting into it, you know. I probably wasn't gonna drink it or anything without disinfecting it or anything, but it would be nice to not have to disinfect all the laundry water and just all the water, you know. If I take a shower, I mean, I have to boil the water for a shower anyways because it has to be warm, but it would be nice if the water was all clean. So if I was getting it straight from a spring, it would be clean enough I can use it for everything. Washing my face, washing my clothes, doing all that stuff. Right now I have to boil, 3 gallons at a time. And I have to run the stove too. It's getting hot. It's getting too hot to run the stove all the time. So I don't know. Tomorrow I'll go back out there and try to work on it a little bit more and see what's going on. But I'm gonna have to go and buy the piping and a pitcher pump and a footing and all the stuff that you need for a shallow well with a pump on it. And do an old-fashioned pump. That's what we have that auger for. So sometime next week I'm probably gonna find a spot on the property where I think the water's running, and then dig a hole down to the water table and put a pitcher pump in. Hopefully I can do it by the garden. The first hole I'm going to dig is going to be fairly close to the garden. If there's no water, then we'll move closer to the meadow until we get to the water. But I think that most of this property has water under it. You just have to dig deep enough. So I think 18 to 20 feet over by the garden will probably get us to the level where that water is. But I don't know. Hard Sunday. Trying to figure that all out. But I'm getting ready to upload the videos. It's a Sunday night. End of week 5. End of episode 5. So I don't know how interesting it's been. It's been 5 weeks for me. So it's been interesting for me being on this new property and, have all this stuff going on. But I don't know how interesting that looks in video format. Hopefully it's been exciting for y'all. If you do like it, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell down bottom. And hopefully next week we're definitely getting the cabin. And we got to figure out the water situation. And we're going to be, by the end of next week, pretty close to planting all the vegetables in the permanent garden. We also have the wood chipper coming tomorrow, and it's supposed to be coming tomorrow. So far, it's still at a UPS facility, so I don't know the estimation. It might be here later in the week. It said that it could be here on the 13th, which is like almost 2 weeks away. But then when I ordered it, it said that it shipped and that it was going to be here Monday. But I don't think it's going to show up tomorrow, but we'll see. We also have to spend a lot of time collecting all that great soil that's down by the cabin spot and bringing it up and filling that last garden. That has to happen this week before the starts are done and ready to go in. So a lot of stuff planned for week 6, and the cabin's coming. It should be a great week. This was a pretty nice week, but the bugs did come in thick. Those black flies, damn those black flies. They're the worst. Like, mosquitoes I can deal with, and mosquitoes, like, I'll get a bite from them and there'll be a little bump for like a couple hours and they go away. You know, I'm immune for the most part to mosquitoes. But the black flies, I'm definitely not. Back of my neck just feels like a braille notebook. It's just like bumps all over it from that one day I was working down on the driveway with the Dozer guy, and the bugs just kept on getting me. And they just hurt a little bit, and if you feel the pain of a black fly, it means they're already done their business. And they bite, they suck blood, and when they bite, they like cut open the skin, so it's like an open sore. And then the next day, it swells all up all crazy, and you're like, what the heck happened, you know? Because right when it happens, it doesn't swell up. It's like the next day it swells up all crazy. So, alright, well, that's the end of episode 5, end of week 5. Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next video.